I have no fucking idea what I'm about to say. And I just said, I've got some chocolate to give. And I just made up because I could not remember how to start the song. And people were like, I've got some chocolate to give. Yep. What? Where's she going with this?
Yep.
I guess I kind of subscribe to this belief that you don't know success. You probably can't truly judge success until you've had a few flops yourself. So I'm wondering for each of you, if you could tell me a little bit about maybe a time where you just fully embarrassed yourself in front of a live
audience. How much time do you have?
Yeah.
I mean, especially in a competition televised environment, I watched one of America's favorite drag race challenges, Snatch Games, in front of the world. And that was pretty much one of the worst days of my life. But nothing prepares you for failure like being a drag queen, so.
Was that one tough to watch back? Did you watch that episode back?
Watching it back wasn't as tough as living it, Mary. Oh my God. You know, if it was a sewing challenge, I could cut my left arm off and no one would remember it. If you bomb Snatch Game, it'll be on your tombstone. So
yeah. You know, for me, Cameron, I have, my goodness, botched so many things over the years, auditions, you know, even performances, like some of the tours I was out there and I was under the weather and shouldn't sing live, should lip sync and do things like that. And I'm too hell-bent Virgo to not do that. So I've been out there and I'd be like, ugh. And you know, there's an audience there and you have to say, well, that was shit. But the truth of the matter is we're all human. Even the best of the best have off days and off nights and off performances and off auditions. I think that just goes with it. And it's how we handle it. It's like the grit. You learn the grit. It's how you handle those situations that makes you a better performer, a better person, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. The show must go on. I've got a couple of examples. One, on Broadway, you end up doing 8 shows a week. And by the time you're thoroughly into a run, it's almost like you can do your shopping list while you're singing and dancing because it's muscle memory. And I remember one time when I was doing Kiss the Spider Woman, and I come out in this white fedora and this ivory like zoot suit, and I come out and lean against. I've got a cigarette. I'm leaning against the drape, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea what I'm about to say. And I just said, I've got some chocolate to give. And I just made up because I could not remember how to start the song. And people were like, I've got some chocolate to give. What? Where's she going with this? But that, you know, that's what you do. Another one that I had, which was the Apollo, and it was me and Paula Abdul, and we both had singles out at the end. Mine was The Right Stuff in 1988, and hers was like Straight Up or something. And we knew that we had to sing in front of the Apollo audience, and they were going to be rough. So she decided not to sing live and sang track. I was like, I'm singing live. So I come out and I am giving it all with all the choreography. And I dance so hard that I have zero breath to actually sing when it's starting to sing. And I just basically froze, my diaphragm choked up, and it was the worst vocal I've ever had on television. But, you know, that's what you do. The show must go on, and you just motor through. And I didn't like cry and say, I need to do it again. Stop the tape. Let me do that. I ate it. So.
And at least you delivered on the dance moves, it sounds like. So
yeah, I did.
Gave him a show.
I gave him a show.
The flip side of that then is, you know, I'm curious if you could take me back to the time, maybe one of the first times you got out on stage and you were like, oh, this feels right. This is like exactly where I want to be.
This was like after the first time I did Drag Race. It was maybe 100-seat theater, and I was developing my first hour of stand-up. And, you know, you can rehearse music, you can rehearse dancing. You really can't get a feel for a true big stand-up set unless there's people there to laugh or not laugh. And I remember before I went on, I was looking in the mirror and I went, everybody's about to find out you're a liar. Like, I just had the clarity of like, everybody's about to find out you are an absolute flop liar. And then I went out there and it just went great. And I remember I went back to behind the stage and sat in my room and looked in the same mirror and like almost out loud said like, you're going to do stand-up now forever. And it was just like, it was absolute like being born again. It was like, oh my God, stand-up, great. That's how I felt. Of course, then I remember I had my top off the whole time. Maybe that's why they were laughing.
That's why everyone was going crazy.
Yeah.
I think for me, that's a work in progress. I think I'm really, you know, I'm fully honest when I say I struggle with imposter. That same thing that Trixie was just talking about. Imposter syndrome is really real. So when I go out to do things, the world can think it's great, and I can go back and go, I really don't think that was good, and I really don't think I should be here. Shouldn't that person be doing it? They're better at what I just did. So for me, it's kind of a work in progress. I'm trying to get better with that in my life, in my career. But when I do things, I wholeheartedly believe that I'm doing it for the right reason and because I have the talent to do it. So I struggle with that a little bit, with saying, oh, that felt right and great. Like, but then Vanessa said earlier, you know, on the West End doing 8 shows a week, and every show is different. And there are some where you do it 8 shows a week, and for some reason, every word is gone for dialogue, for song, whatever. And that's when you start to, you know, get insecure and question yourself. So for me, it's kind of a work in progress. And when I do anything, I like to leave feeling like I did the best that I could do in that moment without putting that pressure.
You know, I've been judged so much for so long in my career. I mean, I became famous at 20 years old as a beauty queen, you know, and of course it negated any kind of talent you had or intellect. So anytime I get a chance to prove myself, it's like, oh, I didn't know she could do that. Yeah. So the power for me is doing anything that I know I can do really well and making people kind of reel back on their heels and say, oh, she's talented. Oh, I didn't know she could sing. Oh, I didn't know she could dance. So, you know, I've heard that for so many years. So that's my power. That's what I love, doing something new and always surprising people, because people have such low expectations and people judge. And that, you know, that's what we're doing as a profession in this show, but people judge and make snap decisions and judgments. And it's great when you can prove them wrong.
Yeah, I can really relate to that, because it's like when you have a beautiful face, it's like people, I'm not just, you know, I'm also a beautiful
You're such an idiot. Shut up.
But also to hear people like Michelle say that they at this point struggle with imposter, that is also always helpful. It's like when you hear a famous super comedian that they still bomb once in a while. That is so helpful to hear. It is.
Well, it's true. I think people need to know that that's natural, especially in this business. And just like Vanessa was talking about being judged, I can't tell you how many times I've left a set or a performance and people go, oh my God, I had no idea that you were all that. I just thought you were RuPaul's best friend or whatever. People don't know. I'm not kidding. I'm being fully honest.
It's true.
People completely expect nothing. And then that's why, full disclosure, that's why in life I changed from an optimist to a pessimist, because I was so sick of being let down by the glass is half full always. And then when I changed my point of view, then whether the kids want to hear this or not, and I changed to, well, the glass is half empty, I don't expect anything, but I can over deliver versus over expecting and underwhelming. So for me, I have to always be proving something. And I don't know if I'll ever be at the point where I walk off and go, yeah, I knew it. But I do go into everything with full confidence. And I know, like Vanessa, like Trixie, what I can do. And if you don't believe it, wait.
Welcome, our Pop Diva Panel.
There is something when a veteran drag queen takes a stage.
Are you calling me old?
Queen of the Universe.